Asia Pop 40.
Hello, I'm Joey. Today we have a very talented singer-songwriter here joining us, and she comes to us, I believe, currently from Northern Europe, but there's no saying where she actually is in Europe right now, and it's the sensational and very talented Aurora. What's up?
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Hello, Joey. I am doing wonderful. How are you?
I am very well. Aren't you on tour? Are you in Norway, or are you in other parts of Europe that we don't know about?
Your magical senses of my location was completely correct. I am in Norway right now, yes. I am in Norway in my apartment right now, but I'm going on tour soon, and then I hope that I'll be able to do all the shows that I've planned, because I hate canceling.
I know. I think it was an interview when you said the worst things to happen to people in this world is, first off, war, secondly, childbirth, and then canceling shows. So yeah, we hate canceling shows.
Oh, that's horrible. I'm sorry. But yes, it's the worst thing ever, because it means a lot to me and it means a lot to people. It's good for us to be connected in music like that. So yeah, it's very important.
Especially during this very trying times that you don't get a chance to meet with your fans too much, right? The warriors and weirdos, as we call them. So if you had to cancel a show, I'm sure you'd be very good at, but let's, knock on wood, that's not gonna happen. This new album, The Gods We Can't Touch, we absolutely love it. So what's it like to sing this album for your warriors and weirdos?
It feels incredibly wonderful, because the music doesn't really come alive before I see it in the eyes of my people. They make the music so much bigger than I could ever make it. And they give it meaning as well. Without the fans, the music doesn't really come alive.
Exactly,
and it's my favorite thing in the world, because people look so beautiful when they enjoy music. It's very easy to love people. When you stand on stage and you look at the crowd, it's so easy to just fall in love with everyone, because I see everyone in the crowd very clearly. So it's very important. So I'm so excited to just do it more, because it means the world for me and the music.
And this album, I think it is for everyone. It's for a lot of different cultures, a lot of religious beliefs out there. The Gods We Can Touch makes references to religions and pantheons of gods, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Can you keep track of how many gods or how many deities you made reference to in this album?
Well, I think I've made reference to around 18 of them.
Yeah.
But also I'm making a lot of references to faith in general. I find faith a really fascinating thing. I find it very beautiful, because people use it for a lot of beautiful things. And I also find it confusing, because people have also in history and in our present time used it for a lot of strange things and horrible things. And it's just weird how something so beautiful can be used in so many good and bad ways in the hands of people. And it just fascinates me. So I started reading a bit about religious history and people and how we have changed through time. And then I made an album about it to try to understand it more.
So you read up on it, you did your research, and then you talked about the good and bad things of our beliefs. Mm-hmm. Is that what the concept of this album is about?
Well, it is a lot about people's relationship to both power and people's relationship to their God, to each other, to rules, to freedom of expression, and freedom in loving who you are and expressing who you are, and what in the world prevents us from being happy, and what in the world helps us in being happy. Because I just want people to be happy.
Of course, we all just want to be happy. And I think at the start of a lot of folklores, it's always about happy things, right? For example, Norwegian folklores, there's a lot of trolls, fairies, and, natural and happy spirits. Mm-hmm. And then we started to get deities that represent concepts. For example, the Greek or Roman gods, or even Norse mythology, that some gods represent, say, chaos, war, nature, and fertility. Now, out of all these concepts that gods or deities represent, which ones are your favorite, ones that you really are drawn to?
But what drew me to writing, or like letting myself be inspired by a lot of these mythologies in the first place, was that they had gods who we could look up to and also see ourselves in. They weren't too perfect and too almighty and all-knowing. They were kind of human, and all of their stories had both flaws and beautiful things, just like us. And I think we deserve to worship something or someone that we can also see ourselves in. So maybe we could worship ourselves easier. So I love all the gods and goddesses that represent something that you don't see in modern religion anymore, like sexual desire, like ecstasy and dancing, like wine and fertility, like and the gods for the Greek even had a god for that was half woman, half man, and they didn't have any issue with being homosexual either, which I find very interesting. It's just interesting how times have changed, and how 2,000 years ago we thought about things differently than many people do today.
If Aurora were a goddess, and I'm not saying you're not, you are, but if you were a deity that is worshipped, what do you think you would represent? Like, what's the concept that you would represent?
Well, I think I would represent self-love.
Okay.
Because that's definitely the thing in this world I care a lot the most about in people. Just learning in this small life that we have to at least enjoy it the best you can, and waste less time in trying to change yourself and hate yourself, because it doesn't really matter. And I think we spend too much time in hating who we are, and
Yes.
it's so sad. Or maybe I would be like the goddess of nature, because I love protecting Mother Earth, because she's my favorite person.
I do love that idea, Aurora, the goddess of self-love, or the goddess of nature. But there's already a goddess of nature, right? In fact, she is in your album, Artemis, the goddess of hunt, fertility, and nature. That song came to be very special to me. Can you talk about what's special about this song? What is it talking about?
All of my songs have a lot of meaning, and I love watching people figuring out for themselves. So I'm always afraid to say too much.
Okay.
Because that's the beauty of songs, that
True.
people. But it's about a very, or for me, it's about a very, very special and very kind of scary, but also fantastic woman.
Okay, so you obviously like the dangerous and mysterious spirits and deities, as well as the beautiful and benevolent ones, right? Like the Huldra, the Nock, to the elves and the fairies. Now, you're someone who does enjoy a lot of fantasy world building. I hear that you are also a bit of a gamer, and you do play a fantasy game called The Witcher. Is that right?
Yes, I played The Witcher 3. I must admit, I haven't played The Witcher 1 or 2, but I love The Witcher 3. It's one of my favorite games I've ever played, I think. And I've also read the books. And so, I really love The Witcher. And I love gaming.
What do you enjoy about this game? Like, do you like the killing of the monsters? Do you like talking to different characters? Do you like making the coin? Or do you like the party and the debaucheries?
Oh, well, I kind of like all of it. My favorite thing with it is the balance between that you get to also have fun, and things aren't as scary or serious, but then you jump into these dangerous and kind of menacing situations.
Yeah.
I love both butchering the monsters, and I love the collecting coin, and I love the party and drinking the ale and talking to all the different characters, and I just love the vibe. I love the vibrations of all games that are set in that period of time. I played a lot of Skyrim as well. But I love playing games.
That's a big name drop. All right, for all of you fantasy aficionados or people who like playing The Witcher, and all the, of course, warriors and weirdos, make sure you toss a coin to Aurora and by her new album, The Gods We Can Touch. Please listen to this album. There's a lot of hidden messages that you can extract from it. The Gods We Can Touch. And today we had the lovely Aurora joining us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Joey.
Asia Pop 40.